Hey guys, it's Ismail back with another watch review, and today we're looking at something that's not an AP, it's not a Patek, it's not a Rolex. This is a H.Moser. This model here is the H.Moser Streamliner 6500-1200, which is a watch that's very hard to acquire by the H.Moser boutique. The reason being is because they only produce around 3,000 pieces a year, and this one is a particularly new model that came out in 2023, and it's been fully allocated by the H.Moser boutique to their clients from 2024 up until 2025. H.Moser as a brand was started by Heinrich Moser in 1828, and their take on watches is more contemporary, and they really have an emphasis on developing new techniques to develop and put inside their watches, which, as you can see, this watch definitely looks very futuristic, but it has some hues of their heritage as well. What inspires this H.Moser Streamliner's look is 1917 sports watches and vintage cars, which you can see from its cushion-shaped case and integrated bracelet, which offers a very minimalistic and contemporary view, which is definitely what H.Moser tend to make. Now, when we first got this Streamliner in, I wasn't too much of a fan of the dial, to be honest, but it has grown on me, and that's because of the Grand Fume dial that H.Moser have developed for this watch. This features a almost hammered pattern on the enamel blue, which has a graduating blue from light to dark on the outer side of the dial. It also has no numerals on the dial, which is what H.Moser have intentionally done on this dial, only implementing the small seconds at the 6 o'clock as the only contrast on the dial. So it's going for a very sleek and clean look. There's other luxury watches from brands such as AP or Patek Philippe, which will have their branding on the dial as well as numerals put into small seconds if there aren't numerals on the hour markers. But on this dial there's absolutely nothing apart from the Grand Fume blue and the small seconds, so it definitely stands out from these other luxury brands. Diving into the technical specifications of this watch, it has a 39mm case size, which is hard to tell because of the cushion-shaped case, and a rough 10 to 11mm case thickness, which makes this perfect for every occasion, but I would say it's more of a sporty look for daily wear. The watch's movement, which is the HMC 500, is H.Moser's first ever automatic manufactured movement, which features a platinum micro rotor mechanism. And while it isn't the most complicated watch, it does feature 74 hours power reserve, which in comparison to most Rolexes just beats it by around 2 hours of extra power reserve, and compared to brands like Patek Philippe, it almost doubles in power reserve. So I would say it's a lot of value for money considering the watch it is. The integrated bracelet, I would say, is almost on par with the AP Royal Oak. I think they've absolutely smashed it with this piece, and that's because of the chamfering on the edge and the taper of the bracelet, which also makes it extremely comfortable to wear. Now, I've compared it with the new 15510, for example, and this one is far superior in terms of wrist feel and presence. It also has a dual folding deployable clasp, which you would see on a lot of the watches, so you just press the button on the back to release both sides. It hasn't got a sequential folding like the AP, so it folds quite neatly, just like that. What's really impressive about this watch is the finishing and the feel of the watch. I would say the brushed metal strokes look absolutely amazing under the light, with the almost sunburst effect of the brushed metal strokes going outward in a diagonal pattern. On my wrist in particular, which is 16 centimeters, 39mm is definitely more favorable for me, and I think what sets this watch apart and why it's so desirable by a lot of the clients from H.Moser is because it's 39mm case compared to the normal 42mm cases on the other Streamliner models. This is maybe why the watch has been so hard to acquire from H.Moser, because everybody is looking for something a bit smaller, which is more in trend nowadays for sports watches in general. Now, in terms of market price, because it has been so hard to acquire by the authorized dealer, this watch has been priced at variable different prices on the secondary market, with prices having been seen at 35,000 to now around 45,000, which is comparable to the FP Journe Elegante when it came out, with a really low retail price booming up to around 60,000 and then coming down. So I think there's a lot of scope for this to happen with the H.Moser Streamliner 6500-1200. This watch retails for around 29,900 Swiss francs, which in pounds comes to around 26,000, which I would say if you can pick it up retail, it's definitely a steal, and it's something different compared to what you would normally go for if you have already been collecting Patek, AP and Rolex. So it's a timepiece that I would say stands out a lot more compared to the other boutique brands that you would see in the luxury watch industry today. On the contrary, I do think that this watch definitely won't be for everyone. It might look a bit alien-like to some people just because the dial has no real definition, and it might just be a bit plain for people, and to justify paying premium for a H.Moser where they usually sell 50 to 30% under retail price might be a bit of a stretch for them, but I think this watch definitely deserves the spotlight it's getting and the hype on the secondary market. If you enjoyed the video and you would like to see more watches from boutique brands, then leave a like, comment and subscribe, and let us know which of the boutique brands you would like to see next.